I want to preach for a little while tonight using as a subject, I am going somewhere. Right. Look at the person beside you and tell them, I am going somewhere. Beloved, whether you know it or not, allow me to preface this message tonight by simply stating that God desires to take you somewhere. I want to say that again. God desires to take you somewhere. For somebody tonight, this simply says to you that God wants to take you somewhere spiritually. Then there are those of us that God wants to take us somewhere financially. And for somebody else that says that God wants to take you somewhere physically. But if you don't get anything else from this message tonight, know that regardless of your ethnic background, your racial background, your gender, your creed, or your color, all of us need to understand tonight, you are not here by accident or incident, but God has ordained for you to hear this word, that God desires to take you somewhere. Whether you know it or not, that God desires to take us somewhere, that furthermore says to all of us that he does not desire for any one of us in here at this moment to remain in the place that we are. God that desire to remain in the place that we are, I don't care how bad it is, I don't care how good it is. Sometimes good can be the enemy of great. And because sometimes good can be the enemy of great, you need to understand that God wants to take you from a good situation to even a greater situation. God wants to take you from a place of which you don't know him to a place in which you do know him. God wants to take you from hard times to a place where you have good times. If you don't get anything else tonight, you need to understand there is another side to the problem that you have. God does not desire for you to suffer all of your life, but the other side of sickness is a healthy body. God does not desire for you to be poor all of your life, but the other side of poverty is that Jesus is rich. If you don't get anything else tonight, I would have you to know that God desires to take you somewhere. Whether you know it or not, just this past Monday, I had the wonderful privilege of flying from Birmingham, Alabama to Columbus, Ohio. And I have to admit that somewhere between the time that I left the airport in Birmingham and somewhere between the time that I arrived at the airport in Columbus, Ohio, as we left the airport in Birmingham, we were 30,000 feet in the air. And when we were 30,000 feet in the air, I have to admit that my trip was a great trip, but it was not a smooth trip. The reason that it was not a smooth trip because somewhere between Birmingham and Columbus, I experienced some turbulence. And God told me to tell somebody right now that when it is he is taking you from the place that you were to the place that he desires you to be, even though it's going to be a great ride, somewhere along the line you will have some trouble. Somewhere along the line you will have some problems. Somewhere along the line you will have some turbulence. Jesus put it like this. He said that in this life you shall have tribulation. He says, but be of good cheer. How can I be of good cheer when things are not going my way? How can I be of good cheer when things are not going the way that I want them to go right now? He says, be of good cheer because I've already overcome the world. Whether you know it or not, what greater joy can anybody have to know that Jesus, who's already overcome sickness, to know that Jesus, who's already overcome poverty, to know that Jesus, who's already overcome whatever it is that you face in life, out of all of the places that Jesus can live, the one who's already overcome the world lives inside of us. And every now and again, you got to give God praise because even though our problems may be big, that even though my problems may be great, anybody can say, greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. Well, you know that not only did I experience turbulence, but as I was 30,000 feet in the air, because the plane began to reel and rock, I have to admit that there was a time that I wanted to get off the plane. There was a time that I wanted the plane to come down. I really didn't care about reaching my destination. There was a time that I wanted to quit right there. And can I tell somebody, when God is taking you to the other side, Even though it's a great journey, it's not a smooth journey. There comes a time that you want to faint. There comes a time that you want to quit. But can I tell somebody tonight, God gave me a word, be not weary in well-doing. Because in due season you shall reap if you don't faint. Look at somebody and tell them, my due season is on the way. You've cried long enough, you've struggled long enough, you've been through enough mess in life, but every now and again you gotta thank God for your problems, because if it were not for the problems that you face in life, you wouldn't have the character that you have, you wouldn't pray the way you pray, you wouldn't fast the way you fast, you wouldn't pray the way you pray. Every now and again you gotta thank God for your problems and hold on just a little while longer, because my due season. Tell somebody my due season is on the way. Whether you know it or not, when I was 30,000 feet in the air because of the turbulence that I faced, not only did I want to quit, but along with me wanting to quit, I began to get scared. I began to get scared because I really didn't know if I was going to make it to the other side of my destination. But the reason that I didn't stay scared, I got scared, but I didn't stay scared because God reminded me that I'm not giving you the spirit of fear, but a power and a love and a sound mind. And can I tell somebody tonight, whatever problem you're facing in life, you don't have to be scared to go to the other side. Somebody wants to move to the other side, but you're afraid of moving to the other side. God told me to tell you, you don't have to be scared. If you got the spirit of fear, God didn't give you the spirit of fear, but God has given you power. Can I tell somebody, God has given you power to overcome your problems. God has given you power to overcome sickness. God has given you power to overcome poverty, whatever it is you face in life. You need to understand that God has given you power. What joy you should have inside of you, knowing that my problems don't have power over me, but God has given me power over my problems. Can I tell somebody, not only did God give you power, but God has also given you love. The reason that you need love when God is taking you to the other side, because other people don't want to see you move to the other side. Somebody wants you to stay stuck. You got some haters in your life that don't want you to go to the other side, and every now and again God has to put love inside of your heart so you can learn to love the hell out of your haters. Can I tell somebody, God didn't just give you love, but God has given you a sound mind. You have a sound mind to make godly decisions, a sound mind to do the right thing. Every now and again you got to thank God not for a house, you got to thank God not for a car, but every now and again you got to thank God because out of all that I've been through, I still got my mind. Anybody can praise God for a sound mind. Whether you know that you've been through enough in 2010 to lose your mind, somebody's been through enough inside of your home to lose your mind, somebody's been through enough on your job to lose your mind, somebody's been through enough even inside of your church to lose your mind. But every